Yeah, I didn't have life the easiest, but it wasn't the hardest either. I can walk, I can talk, I can function for the most part. I have my bad days and my good days. Depends on seasons usually. But I don't let CF stand in my way. I'm a volunteer EMT. I've been volunteering as an EMT for 12 years. I rescue pit bulls. I've rescued 25 pit bulls in 4 years. My house currently has 1 pit bull, 2 cats, 6 rats, a turtle, a tortoise, and 3 guinea pigs. So.
Hey, rats.
I said the rats.
That's the gross part.
They can't stomach the rats. But because we can't have children because of CF. And that was like a slap to our face after we got married 2 years ago. We did the infertility stuff. I tried my hardest. Like, okay. You get like the sarcastic, oh, it must be nice to try. Ooh. Yeah, no, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. Because there are so many people out there that don't deserve to have kids and they do. And then there's people like my husband and I that were just trying. We tried to do everything under the sun that was covered by insurance, and some of the stuff we thought was covered under insurance wasn't, and we dug ourselves into a pretty hefty hole. Finally got out of it, so we're good. But as for that, we thought about adoption, but then we're like, I really like my animals, so can we just keep bringing home animals? So I don't tell my husband when to bring home animals. They just show up. And then he asks me, how long has that cage been there? He's not very observant, so sometimes it's a few days or even a couple weeks before he actually realizes it. But as for CF, I take 6 enzymes with every meal, 4 with every snack, 5 depending if it's like a big bowl of ice cream. I gotta like definitely enzyme up on that. My enzymes aren't the cheapest, but they're there. They're made out of a pig's pancreas, so that's awesome. And I did have some of my friends growing up that were like, can we try them? Will it make our stomachs, like, what happens? And I said, the worst case, I think the worst case that ever happened was you make a real pigtail. And like, I ate into it. I loved it. I liked being sarcastic. I looked to the humorous side. It didn't faze me that I was sick. It sucked. I didn't have a lot of friends growing up. And even to this day, I only have a few very, very close friends because some of my peers, I guess you can say, don't understand if I cancel on the last minute. Because I could be feeling great the day before, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go out, we're gonna have a blast, this is great. Day comes, I'm like, not moving, you're on your own. Like, I am throwing up mucus right now, this is not cool. Not a very pretty disease, not a very quiet disease at all. In the words of my husband, it's a very loud disease. We definitely have fun in that aspect, but I don't sleep flat. I sleep on 2 pillows. If I'm having a really bad night, I prop myself in the corner of a room. So there's really no snuggling with my husband. There's no, like, sure, we're snuggly and we're just stupid. Like, it's just what it is. We're weird. But I can't snuggle with him, and that's one of the things that kills me. I had sinus surgery done 10 years ago, and I haven't been able to smell anything since. And it's the little things like that, because the sinuses come with CF. I've had 2 sinus surgeries. I have an animal caretaking degree, and I can't work with animals because my health and my lungs just won't allow it. So now I work at West Her, which is, thank God, because I am able to text my manager and be like, dude, I'm gonna be late, I'm not feeling good. And he's like, all right, whatever, just don't tell me the details, which I know gets under his skin, so then I just share to him anyways because I know it makes him uncomfortable. That's my goal in my life. But medication-wise, it's expensive. I was recently just diagnosed with CF-related diabetes. I spend $75 a month just on the sensor that I wear on my arm. Can you want to show them? Lift up my arm, show them my patch, all the way. Come on, lift it up. No. Lift it up. And what do? You scan it? Yeah? So that's $75, and that's with my copay. Like, that's just the copay for it. No, you're too heavy. So, I got the CF-related diabetes. I'm also insulin dependent on that too. Plus my regular medicines, my nebulizers, all the fun stuff. This isn't just a pretty Tupperware bin. These are my meds. So, I have a couple couple of meds that I like to take. I have my own medicine backpack that I take with me to everything to school, but to work. And it carries my pens, my glucometer, my albuterol, my enzymes, my pill box, my scanner for my arm, and needles. That goes with me everywhere. And it's just what it is. All I know. I've only been sick from day one that I can recall. But this lovely machine here has been wonderful and my worst enemy all at the same time. I've stubbed my toe numerous times. But as for getting on an airplane with it, you sort of get stopped because it sort of looks like something that they don't like on airplanes. So I get pulled over to the side, it gets scanned, and then I'm the broad that's wearing the mask and I really look suspicious. It gets sort of weird, but that's not cheap at all. They're looking at about $16,000 sitting right there just for that machine. So the vest is great. I wear that about 30 minutes or an episode of Futurama with my husband, so whichever comes first, I guess. And like my sister said, Gabby will sit there with me. My dog curls up behind me. She's a 65-pound pit mix. She curls up behind me and just lays there. We are very open with CF. We aren't afraid to show the world that, yeah, this sucks. There is no cure. And who knows what tomorrow brings. But with CF and with the funds raised, I was able to graduate high school barely. I was not a very good student. I had the mouth problem. So,
that, and she was always absent a lot with having CF, so it was hard to make up work and everything.
Yeah.
But she also just stunk at social studies.
Yeah, I did not like social studies at all. I had a bowel obstruction at 16 years old, and that was my only hospitalization, knock on wood. And that was only for 24 hours. But in that 24 hours, I lost like 10 to 15 pounds. So I maintain my really high calorie diet, which is great, but I'm gluten-free. So I tend to eat all the time, and I don't really stop. And if it's Reese's cup, it's mine. So it's been fun in a very sarcastic tone, but I sit there and I look at all the meds that I have now, and it's definitely sucks because I recently diabetic, so I absolutely hate that. Like, that's a pain in the butt. But the vest has been wonderful. I take my Palmazine, my case, and they just took me off because I wasn't the greatest on it because I didn't like doing it 3 times a day because I'm a brat. And they said I didn't need it because my lung functions have stayed pretty stable. So they're like, all right, if you're okay with taking it off, we'll take you off. I do Toby Podhaler. Thank God for insurance, because if not, you're looking at about, I want to say, Casein was $3,500 without insurance per month. The Podhaler is about 10 grand, I think, per month. And then my Palmazine is $1,500 per month. So with insurance, I only have like the $20 copays or $70 copays and stuff. So thank God, but those copays add up because I go through enzymes like crazy. I go through my multivitamins. I take a medication. I take azithromycin, which is usually what your doctors prescribe to you guys when you get a cold. I take it because I have this really lovely bacteria growing in my lungs. So just all the different stuff that adds up. It's not cheap, it's not fun, but it's manageable. I'm able to teach gliding stars. I'm able to rescue the dogs. I'm able to work a full-time job. I wrote one book. I have a page in another book, and I write articles for CF Roundtable. Like, I don't let it stop. I rather just show the world that, okay, I'm going to be coughing with my head out over here. Just bear with me, and then I'll get back at you. But I work for a place that everyone there is beyond supportive, and it is wonderful because, I mean, some of them are a little sarcastic. I get told to die quieter every now and then. I think the one who says it the most is my husband. But it's manageable, but it's there. It's all I've ever known. I'm a salt lick in the summertime because I don't sweat. I salt. I've stained many friends' seats in the cars because it looks like someone spilled a salt shaker. Walking through the fair in the summer, cows love me because I'm a walking salt lick. The dogs like me. Yeah, and my husband hates me because he can't stand kissing me because it's licking a salt lick. But other than that, I really can't think of anything too crazy other than it's the medications, the treatment. If anyone wants to try out my vest, you are more than welcome to. You sort of sound like a sheep dying, but it loosens all the secretions in my lungs. And in my husband's words, you cough up lung slugs. So
what the vest does compared to what it was when
they used to have to be
she was her age, we had these little round cups, and they were rubberized, and they went from pediatric. Now I got big hands, so you can only imagine trying to do this to a 22-month-old or 2-year-old and get the kid to stand still or lay there for half hour. So you'd cup
Just picture her right now. Gabby won't stay still.
And that's what you would do. 10 minutes on the back, 10 minutes on each side, 10 minutes on the front with these cups. And then they came out with a wand that was kind of cupped that vibrated, that worked. They came out with a pipe that had a little ball that was weighted, that the kids would have to take a deep breath and blow, and the ball would go up and down. It sounds weird, but it vibrated, and when it caused the air to like vibrate all the way down in their lungs, along with the cupping they'd have to do. And then the vest came out, and it was like, I have a half hour, 45 minutes where I don't have to worry about this anymore. You know, it kind of frees the parents up. The kid puts the vest on, and it would fill up. I mean, the first time we saw it, the first one was probably twice that size when we got it. And, but it fills up with air, and then it just vibrates, but it does the whole thing, and it does a much better job than what we could ever do. That's just some of the progress over the years, from going from the little hand cuppers to, and I mean, I was afraid I was going to hurt it, because they said you can't go light. You really got to wrap these kids. And after actually a couple weeks, she would lay there like no problem. She'd fall asleep. So if she falls asleep anywhere, she falls asleep on the back of my motorcycle when we're driving down the road. So, but that's what you do. You beat the kid, literally. We say, well, we're going to go beat the kid. And, you know, people laugh at you, but then all of a sudden they see you smacking her, and they're going, hey, what are you doing? And we're doing her treatment, and we'd have to do it 2 to 3 times a day, depending on if she was sick. You know, every time she gets a cough, worse than her normal cough, you kind of worry as a parent. But
or when she coughs up some lovely things, that's when I can't.
So I'm the typical. Do you guys all have siblings? Yeah. So I'm that sibling that's like, oh, I know you hate this, and a chaser.
That's one thing I can't tolerate.
Yeah, that's got to be a scar left over as CF siblings, because my sister would do the same thing, and it grossed me out too. Like, I don't know if you just tortured us long enough that we just have this natural aversion to it or what, but there's a lot of stuff I can do, and as a CF sibling, that wasn't one of them, which is weird because I'm around it all the time.
So now that my husband and I live together, obviously, but he has taken over the beating, I guess you can say. He thinks it's hilarious. I used to go home and beat my wife. He's very special.
You really need to meet him.
He's a unique type of individual. But in the middle of the night, if he knows I'm having a coughing fit and he knows I just can't, like I'm seeing stars, he'll sit up behind me and he'll cut me. And because it just wipes me out cold, I'm like a limp noodle. I don't even move. So he'll readjust me, get my pillows situated, and rub my back. It's not easy being a CF spouse. I couldn't imagine. I did interview him, but his interview is a little very discolored and he's a little special. But he carries my meds because they don't really make skirts a lot with pockets and nice dress outfits with pockets. So he's my medication carrier, and when we're on flights, he's the one that's holding my vest because I just get too tired to cargo through the airport. On a bright note, when we're on flights, I have masked up, and no one likes to sit next to me. So we get sort of free seats to ourselves, and I get priority seating. But it's a full-time job in itself, and I'm not the greatest person at it, but I've succeeded pretty darn well. So I'm okay with where I'm at.
You're bloating.
And what?
When you talk about bloating.
Oh. And then I was like, what? So, and sadly enough, with CF, I do bloat a lot if I forget my enzymes. And have been asked, oh, what are you due? If you get me on a bad day, I'm really sarcastic, if that surprises anyone after me just talking. I say, oh, I was due last month. I'm just waiting it out now. Just seeing what happens. Some of the people's faces are just, they go white, like, okay. And then I'll make up a date, and I'm like, oh, in 4 months. If I can generally tell, like, the person is, I don't know, I wait out, like, see what it's like. And then I do say, I'm not pregnant, I'm just fat and like to eat. That's usually the one I go with, because then you go, oh. And then I've had customers say, you sure you're not pregnant? I'm positive. I'm 100% positive. But thanks. But no, that's life with CF, and I'm pretty kind of open. So does anyone have any questions at all? I probably painted a pretty gross picture in your mind and whatnot, but what's up?
Now, with the schools, I know you were saying they weren't really understanding back then. Is that, do you know if that's changed at all, or is it
I know it's a
better?
little bit.
Well, I was going to ask, because I had a 504 plan, which I don't know if they had that then, but that's basically if you have a medical condition of any type, they give you this plan, and it's supposed to let everybody know.
So some of the teachers were very receptive to learning, because they'd come around and say, I don't know anything about this. And generally they would come out and say, I'm concerned for the other students. You know, is there something I have to worry about the other students? Luckily, the foundation in the office gave us different videotapes and books, and some of the teachers were very good at taking them, reading them, watching the videos, a lot better understanding and stuff like that. The school nurse, I mean, even took them a little bit to say, if I'm not here, you know, can the office staff, because really in the schools the nurse is the only one that's supposed to give out medication. So they would let some of the office staff, so she would be able to go back and enjoy the parties and that. So I think the schools have gotten a little bit better as far as that. I know it was a battle coming up, and I'm not usually, I'll fight for the underdog, so when they started saying, well, this is the way we're going to do it, I'd say, no, this is the way you're going to do it. And I had a lot of help from not only the doctors at the hospital, but the foundation too at that time, and even presently. I can't say exactly how the schools are now, but I think the information's out there a little bit better, and it's easier to get. You Google anything on your phone right now, and you can find out pretty much a lot of stuff about it. It's not, a lot of people don't realize it, because, I mean, if you were to walk in a room, she doesn't look sick. And people sit there and say, okay, sick, you know, not to pick on any disease, cancer kids, they lose their hair, other kids maybe with Downs or something like that we work with ice skating, you can see that there's problems and stuff like that. You gotta love them just as much and treat them the same as everything else, because that's what those kids are looking for. I'm a big comedian on the ice with the kids. I laugh and joke and have a good time. Terrible skater. I can't skate, believe it or not, that well. I got these little kids that play hockey, they're doing circles around me, and I'm the one teaching them, the other kids, but we have a good time doing it. But yeah, I think the schools right now are a little bit more receptive to kids not only with CF, but problems, medical problems and stuff like that. They're a little bit more receptive and
Thank God.
analytic. So.
I also work for Child and Family Services. I work for the Stanley G. Phelps School, and we get every month we get an updated list on different kids' what diseases, what medications they have, anything. It could be even like allergies, and we have to keep an updated list, and we have to actually carry on us 24/7 at the school, because you never know what may happen. And with CF too, like we have kids that obviously we have to make sure what kind of, and we even have some of the kids, we even have a list of what medications they take, because if we do get in, like we really can't take our kids on many field trips, because it's a behavior school. So when we do, though, we have to have a list of medications around as well, just in case, because you never know what situation will happen. And for Nikki having that many medications and everything, it's a list that everybody has to carry. So like compared to what it was like when we were in school to now, it's a complete different. I feel like every year with me being in the schools, I'm seeing the improvements. It's becoming, because now, like, I have a kid, I have 2 kids in the school that actually have the same thing that Nikki has on their arms for diabetic. And one actually has 2 of them. That way he reads one, types in his other, his numbers in, and then scans the other one and actually inputs his insulin rate in there. But they're coming far away.
Did you ever go on school field trips? Overnight stuff? No,
Oh,
trips?
no, I went to Boston.
Did you?
Whale watch.
I went on the whale watch.
Okay.
And I know my chaperone was in panic mode, I think.
There wasn't a nurse present, just that.
No, just them. What's up, Gabby? Gabby was going to talk.
You got one.
She's just a little shy.
So I know you said like right now your employer's like really understanding.
Did I have problems before?
Yeah, like because I
yeah,
imagine
yeah.
like trying to like get like a high school job, you know what I mean, like a summer job or something like that would have to be really hard.
So just like, well, dating with CF was horrible. That sucked. Getting employed with CF was right around the same level. Luckily, my first 2 jobs, one was a family business as a janitor. So my uncle owned that business, so it was great because he knew exactly where I was and health-wise. The other one was a pizzeria in Orchard Park that has always donated, and they go to our church, so they knew who I was.
Eagle Ridge.
I'm getting there.
Oh, wait.
Then I worked at a dog kennel, and when I had to take off for my sinus surgery, they weren't very understanding with, I think it was just the lack of, they didn't understand how severe my illness can be. Because I show up to work, I'm functioning, I cough a little bit, but I mean, I'm around 100 dogs. I think everyone's gonna cough with the hair and everything. When they kept pressuring me to come back after my sinus surgery, I realized I'm not gonna be healthy for a long time if I continue to work here. So I bawled my eyes out when I left because I love my animals. And surprisingly, when I left there, I got called for grand jury duty, so I served grand jury duty for a month. And then I applied at West Her, and I've been there for 10 years. As for like dating with CF, I was in a long-term relationship, broke it off because he couldn't even be in the same room with me when I was doing treatments. He couldn't take it. And it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's a lot of baggage, really. But then I went on an online dating site. At first I hid who I was, and I was like, oh no one's gonna want me, I'm sick, oh god. And after a couple dates, and I met one guy, and his sister is a pharmacist down in Florida. And she's like, oh, what are you taking? That looks like one of my pills that a couple of my patients take. And I said, oh, it's a Creon 20, I have cystic fibrosis. They were Russian, they spoke Russian to each other, and I never heard from them after that. So I was like, I'm gonna go out on one here and say, she's probably like, do you realize what you have in your house right now? Like, this girl's not gonna make it. Because you could just see his whole temperament just changed after that moment. And then I decided to put on my big girl pants and lay it all out there. So I laid it all out there on my website, and I said I have cystic fibrosis, a gluten allergy, rheumatoid arthritis, scoliosis, and God knows what else I have. If you don't like it, don't bother.
And you have people, obviously, that...
Yeah, and I had some people that were like, why would you even try to find love? No one's ever going to want you. Like, you really... Like, some guys where you should just off yourself. And it amazed me that people were so inconsiderate and rude. But then I was like, you know what? I'm way better than you. I know I'm better than you. I mean, of course I cried. Didn't stop. And then I messaged this guy that I thought was sort of cute online. And he's like, can you save me a Google and just tell me what CF is? I said, no, Google it yourself. And now we're husband and wife.
Do you have also people that, like, obviously they're like, oh, tell me more about CF, and you tell them where they look it up, and they're like, well, why bother to start a family with you when who knows if you're going to even make it through the childbirth or if you have kids? And if, like, obviously if you do have kids, are you going to make it through their life? Like, or am I going to raise these kids on their own? So a lot of people think, they're like, why bother to get involved with someone who knows how long you're going to have with that person? So it's very, not really many people.
It's emotional.
Yeah.
Even though I have CF, I want to say one of my most emotional parts were I was diagnosed with my gluten allergy. Because with CF, you can get this bunch of like sort of other diseases that are pulled in with it. So the RA is one of them. The diabetes is one. My gluten allergy is one. My gluten allergy was my skin. It was so bad, I got sent home from work. I had blisters all over. I would take off my bra. It would peel my skin with it. I'd brush my hair, and it would take off pieces of my scalp. Like, it was...
Looked like leprosy.
Yeah, and actually the medication for it is a treatment for leprosy. It was horrible, and it sucked so bad. That was my lowest point. That was the point where I stood in my parents' living room at 2 o'clock in the morning. My mom was getting home from work because she's a nurse. And I said, I'm just going to kill myself. I can't do this. I can't do this. And then after going to a couple doctors, they thought it was scabies. So I was rubbing pesticide cream on open sores, which was really awesome. And then I went to Roswell, and the girl's like, no, you got some allergy. She's like, whatever you're doing, stop treatments. I'm going to take 2 biopsies, one in your elbow and one in your armpit. I'm like, wait, what about my armpit? She goes, yeah, you're going to have stitches in your armpit. And I'm like, I'm going to have stitches in my armpit. That's going to be the most uncomfortable thing in the world. And she's like, it is, but we're going to take some biopsies because that's your 2 most blistered areas. I mean, I put my arms down. I had to wear long sleeves. It was September 10 years ago. I was wearing long sleeves because they were sewed on my arms. If I put my arms down on my desk, it would leave like blister marks. Like, it was disgusting. And she took the biopsies and she goes, stop eating gluten. I'm like, wait, no. I don't know if you've ever seen a comedian where the guy's like, gluten's in everything. It's in everything. Like, I can't have Twizzlers. Twizzlers are awesome. And I can't eat them. But I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Within the first like month and a half, 2 months, I dropped 15 to 25 pounds, which then got my CF doctors, okay, what are you doing? You can't drop that much weight. So I started managing my gluten allergy and my CF diet, and then I do quite a good job with that. And I'm fine now. Now it's just the diabetes a little iffy, because that I'm trying to figure out, but it's not regular diabetes. So I'm able to still function and eat whatever I want as long as it's gluten free.
I had a little bit of a problem with her because both of them are in the fire company with me. I was chief when she joined and wanted to do interior firefighting. I said, you got a lung disease.
Yeah.
All right. Hello.
I got a letter from the doctor.
She got a letter from the doctors. She went to the commissioners who were over my head, and I looked at them and said, no.
Sort of amount.
All right. I'm the chief, but I'm also her father. And, you know, yes, they wear air packs, but you're around the smoke. So they agreed with me. They restricted her from doing firefighting wearing an air pack. But she can do stuff outside the fire, in the smoke. And we said, you have to police yourself, along with other people around. Keep an eye on her. But yeah, she
we have some members that are old enough that have grown up around me and everything, and have walked CF walks and helped with the foundation and everything. Where they go, now you know, stay away from the smoke. You can go near the fire, but stay away from the smoke. And it just, they all know. I don't care that I have CF. I know I have that feeling that I'm a pretty strong human being, I'm pretty strong-willed, and my goal is to kick its ass. But it's a lot of baggage. It's a lot of, if meds tasted like M&Ms, I probably would be a better patient, but they don't. They taste horrible. And it's carting around this stuff, and my own separate backpack full of medications, and I walk into work every day with it on my back with my high heels, and they all laugh at me. But it's all I know, and they tell me I'm smoking when I'm in the back corner of the office because I'm doing one of my nubs, or if I start coughing too much, they're making fun of me. Oh, there goes another lung slug. It's on the move. Get out of her way. Yeah. So it's just with, I guess, the outlook on it. And it does suck. I can't see any of my other CF friends. We can Skype, we can talk on the phone or text and stuff like that. And it kills me because I would love to just be like, let's go out to coffee. Let's go out and hang out. You can't. That's one of the things that I hate the most, is because I can't sit in a room like this with anyone else with the same disease and just talk to them.
But you can do outside stuff or no?
You have to maintain a 6-foot distance from each other.
At least.
So I'm a little bit of a rebel. I'll be like, are you gonna hold your breath? Hold your breath. Okay, hurry up, hug each other, take a few steps back, and all right, you can release. And it just, it stinks, but I know it helps because we can give each other the lovely bacteria. I mean, I can't give you what I have in my lungs. That's my stuff. But part of the love is the effort. Sick and not famous is what I keep saying to myself. And does anyone else have any questions now?
When you do your vest and then you do nebulizers and you do a couple nebulizers, how much time each day does that take? Do you do the vest once or twice?
If I'm feeling really crappy, I'm twice a day.
And it's like a half hour?
Yeah, half hour each time.
Just for the vest?
Just the vest. I do my nebs while I'm on the vest. Cause
that saves time.
Yes. And Lynn, I don't know if you guys met Lynn when you went to Children's or not. She's one of she's my main doctor. She's, I think, the only one that can actually handle me and my sarcasm.
I'd agree.
They have Dr. That's Dr. Frederick.
Okay. So Carla's one of my doctors too. Her son has Down syndrome, and they go to the same school with my little cousin with Down syndrome. So, small world, like 7 signs to everybody or something. But I said, I don't have time. I'm too busy. I got the fire department, I got dogs, I got husband, I got work, I got this, I got that. And she's like, all right, whatever, fine. She's like, just, you could do it all at once. I said, all at once? Like, do they have a vest that I can like carry around with me? She's like, no, we're not getting you one of those yet. You gotta learn to take the half hour and sit down and do your treatments. So it's usually about a half hour, and I can fit in my Palmazine, my albuterol, my Palmazine, and my Toby during my vest. And Michael hates it because he has to turn up the music and the movie's really loud.
Can you put the vest, like, turn the vest on, or does it like?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, anyone want to be my victim?
I'll do it.
All right, lovely.
I mean, I thought it's like.
Did you ever do it?
I have not.
Oh.
Oh, snap.
Little kids love
You don't
it.
mind if you do.
I've had almost half of my people at work.
All her cousins have had it on.
Yeah.
I've worn
I
one.
think anyone that really knows me has worn it.
How tight do you?
Well, it fills up with air.
Okay.
So you want it tight.
Okay. So this is not tight enough.
I'll let Nikki do it.
You get really up close and personal.
It's all good.
Like a seatbelt in the car.
Oh, okay.
It's probably good for me, but I'm experiencing this.
Okay. So it does now, it fills up with air. The version of the vest I have is the chest vest. One of my first ones came scooped down like this and came to about here. It didn't hit so much my lungs, so I requested something different. So now I have this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And it'll speed up. And I sit there for a half hour.
Does it do this speed the whole time?
Because
Now think of the movie with, what is it, Dr. Dolittle? You know, with the guinea pig.
How fast it goes?
there you go.
And now picture my daughter on top of her lap, because she, of course, is very curious and wants to know, is Aunt Nini okay?
Wow.
And then that with the nebulizer, you have to turn the TV up.
Yeah.
A half hour of this. I've eaten dinner on it. I sleep on it. I'm not supposed to eat on it, but I don't really, it doesn't faze me. I guess I'm so used to it. I've been doing the vest for 15 years total now. My old machines were about this tall and it was heavy as can be. But half hour of this. How you doing?
It's a different feeling. It's very
It
different.
doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't. It's just there's a lot of like things happening.
You feel like
Now,
it's not for real.
Yes.
They like
Picture a
that?
little kid doing this nowadays.
Yes.
Okay? What, and they get to know it pretty good. It beats, no pun intended, but it's better than us beating on them and rolling over because you have to tilt your head down. So you help get the mucus out, you tip your head down, tuck your back, and
It's
it's
just like I can only imagine like how it really gets everything like
I do my best. I do it a good like hour before bed because afterwards I'm coughing like crazy. And my husband tells me I need all the So, yeah. I mean, I just want to try it out. You're more than welcome to.
Well, I'm gonna feel like she's shaking all night now.
Like it's like when you get off like a merry-go-round,
And
you're still
spinning. Yeah.
Thank you for.
Nikki, talk about the straw. And
Now,
how similar.
when she was younger, and I'd have a real bad chest cold, I'd do the albuterol treatments. Wouldn't do the vest because that wasn't around, but I'd do the albuterol treatments. But
It's very convenient.
It's a wonderful invention.
It's, oh my gosh. I hated the flutter with a passion. I didn't care about my parents like beating me. That didn't faze me at all. But the flutter, I hated.
Imagine what they're going to come up with next.
They have a Monarch vest, which is where you don't even get plugged into anything. It's a battery vest, and you just put it on. And a couple of my CF friends have it, and they're driving their cars, like going to work. I'm like, this would be great. I mean, I have a 4-minute drive to work, but this would be great. But the inventions nowadays are just absolutely awesome. And
Does it make it really difficult? I know you said like you can take it on planes, but like if you get
Traveling,
stuff, like is it like really tough to travel? Like especially like making sure you have enough medicine for the whole trip and all that.
so I always make sure I pack not just the days I'm there, but I'm like, okay, where are we going? So when people go to like their honeymoon, they're like, oh, let's go to Mexico. We went to Alaska, so I loved it.
Yeah.
And my husband likes to say that I was basically cured up there. I didn't cough at all. I didn't blow my nose. I didn't sound like a nasally human being. I slept through the night without being elevated. It was a completely different atmosphere up there, which then got his wheels turning, saying, "We could live up here. You know, you'd be like cured." And I'm like, "Honey, you can't cure it." He's like, "No, but you'd be so much healthier." I'm like, "We're not moving to Alaska, dear. We can't do it." Traveling there, besides that, I have some of my medications that are refrigerated. So I had to make sure, okay, I have to have enough ice packs. Those ice packs probably look suspicious on the plane, but I'll just have to explain it. Okay, this will be okay. Are they under the 6 ounces? So it's a lot of just thinking, but I would always have, depending where we are, if I know we're just going to visit my grandpa in Florida, all right, I'll pack like an extra day or two of meds in case we get laid over somewhere. But Alaska, I packed actually a whole other week of medications, just in case, because I do worry. Yeah. And I always have like enzymes everywhere. They're on my keychain. They're in just about every bag. They're in every compartment of my car.
they do try and get you to pre-check it, and you try and explain to them this is a piece of medical equipment. We got to take it with us. So they're looking at you. Well, we only have so much, carry-on space because she's got that, her pills.
Right.
Her purse, the normal carry-on, and it's like,
I'm not checking this.
No,
Yeah.
this
No, I hold on to
doesn't
this
get
like,
checked
it's
in.
like Gollum in like Lord of the Rings. My precious. No, you're not taking this from me.
Right.
And you get some security guys that are, okay, we get it, that's fine. They do have to take out everything in here and wipe it all down, and then they just leave it for me, and I'm like, of course, I have 10 minutes until my plane comes. Let me just hurry up and put this all back together.
And then she has to make sure it's sanitized because of all those hands touching it. Because she, obviously with her immune system, she can get sick very easily. So if I was ever sick, she would, like, I had to make sure I was staying away from my sister because I didn't want her to get sick because it's a lot easier.
Would be like,
I become, I can like a little nasty when it comes to flu season.
Is that stuff like if your husband gets sick and stuff?
I make him sleep in a different room.